Okay, guys, welcome to Open Sphere with Promise. So today we are blessed to have the presence of a renowned code winner as far as Nigeria is concerned, Nat Shoes. I think he should do the remaining introduction. Sir, let's know your name.
All right, greetings, guys. So my name is Chukwunironum Nathan. I'm the CEO and founder of Wienat Shoe Hub. Thank you very much.
Okay, today let's just go straight to the point. Today we are talking about a very sensitive topic, and it has to do with the young ones. Today we are dealing on growing in a world that wants you to have it all figured out. Because currently in our society, we're now being covered up with that mindset that a young person is expected to have his life all sorted out, even as early as possible. And most persons don't even care to know how you go about it. They just want you
Just want to make you succeed.
They just want you to succeed. You get. All right. So just be free. We just need an interactive section.
Yeah,
just
sure.
be free. You get. So the first question is, be honest with me. Growing up, like when you were growing up, did you ever feel like you were just performing? Like you were playing a character of who people want you to be? Like growing up, did you ever feel like you were just living just because
To
people
live
want
up
you
to
to
the
be
thing.
like this?
Okay. Okay. Firstly, every person in his or her life growing up as a kid has that stage where anybody that comes in contact with you as a child will give their own definition of you based on the things they see you do, right? But that's just their opinion anyway, right? So while growing up, me personally, while growing up, there are many things I hear people say about me, because of the kind of person I am. Like, I've never been a chill person. Right? I'm not that kind of person that used to be very calm and reserved. I'm always an outspoken person. So because of that thing, people used to, give their own definition of who they think I am based on what they are saying. So I've had people tell me, if you go into law, you will make a good lawyer.
You
And
like to
another
drag a
people,
lot.
I drag a lot, and it is hard for you to win me. Like, it is very, very,
Very
very
rugged
hard.
human being.
Even when I clearly see that you are right, I will do everything possible within my power to make sure that I win you. And the reason why I will win is not just because I'm right, but because I have the energy to make you shut up. So people will, sometimes when I now brag with the right things, people will be like, you will make a good law, so you should study law. Then some people, because I used to stay in my mom's shop, even as little as primary one, two, three, I stay with my mom in her shop. So when even if she's not around, I sell for her till evening. So people will come based on how we do business and transact things like that. They will be like, you need to be a businessman after primary school. Just go and do boy boy, as the Igbo people say. So just go and do boy. You need to go into the business part. That business fits you so well. So people have always said that. So in my mind, growing up with all of those illusions and statements that I used to hear. So when I got to primary six, primary five, six, there is that time before, there is something I used to do in primary school. I think it's primary five, career day. Before that career day, your teachers will ask you, what will you like to
Yes,
be when you
yes,
grow?
yes,
So stuff
yes.
like that. So the answer, apart from the normal, this person will say banker, this person will say doctor, apart from those normal statements, all of the answers that I have given them has always been from those statements
You hear people.
I hear people say. So sometimes I can be confused. This person will ask me, I will say I want to be a lawyer when I grown up. Next time when another person asks me, I will just say I want to be a businessman. Do you get? So because this is what I hear people say. So that's what I really think happened here.
Wow, I think that plays out in almost every young person's life because I could remember one time someone told me, as little as I was, because I used to recite Bible recitations in church, and they'll be like, you make a good pastor. And I'll be like, well, it's good though, because those times I would be like, I would see pastors and I'll be like, wow, people can pray and people respect them. And based on people's opinion, I felt like maybe that part of me is possible, you get. But okay, let's get to the next one. So that phase of your life when people wanted you to be something.
Yeah.
So where was the pressure coming from the most? Was it from home? Was it from church? Or was it just from the general public?
Okay. Firstly, I've not, just like I said before, I've not really been a calm person. But even at that, I did not grow up in a very rough or bad environment. I've always been a church boy, just like what you said. Any person that grew up in the church environment must experience that thing you
Yes,
said
exactly.
about that pastor
Exactly.
stuff. Because I acted more than 4-5 times a pastor stuff, even in our graduation.
So why you never become
I'm
pastor?
telling you, when I graduated from primary 6, a little primary 6 boy, they gave me suit that is longer than my hand. That picture is still, oh God. So I acted a pastor, even though I don't want to act it, but just because of
Yes.
the way you perform in
Yes,
children's
yes,
services
yes,
and stuff,
yes.
yeah, so they'll feel like, yeah, this is the person that will suit well. These people just confused us growing up, right? But I will say that the place that I will not really call it direct pressure, right? I did not see pressure from school, society, on stuff. I think the thing that happened to me is because I am that kind of child that is always present. Like, if you come into a place where I used to be and I'm not there, you will notice that I'm not there, because once I'm there, there's a different energy, right?
Yes.
So, because of the way people have been seeing me in church, they see me as a very good, dedicated boy, right? In school, they see me as a very intelligent boy. Even though I don't read, I play too much, and at the end of the term, I pass. I don't know how it even happened. So the pressure has always been from inside of me, trying to live up to the expectation of people about you.
Yes.
That's where the pressure has always been coming from. So nobody really pressured me, just inside of me out, so that I will not, fail the hands of people that see me as a good boy in church. So I will always like to, it even led me to sometimes acting up. Do you get?
Just to meet
Just
up.
to make
Just
up
to
with
show,
that,
yes.
yes, expectations. So that's really the kind of pressure I felt,
Wow.
not from people, but
Wow.
from inside me.
Wow. Wow. I think one of the highest pressure that a human being will encounter is the one within.
Yes,
Because
very true.
you can actually bypass what every other person wants you to be.
Yeah.
But inside of you, you might be battling with a whole lot, like, I want to do this, I should have done this. Am I not doing this? I should have reached this level. And you get those whole pressures.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
think one of the highest pressure is the one you have to deal with inside. And that's what leads most people to committing suicide, maybe getting into
Exactly,
money
yeah.
ritual, and
Yeah.
just to meet up to standard. Wow.
Do you know,
it's a
like
whole lot.
this thing you said, I just remember something. While we were in school, secondary school, even the teachers made the matter worse for us, because there was this one particular guy, a very handsome young guy. While we were in, I think, SS2, one of our teachers looked at the guy. The way the guy used to dress up to school, iron his
Yes.
clothes, very, 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 very neat guy. So a teacher looked up to that guy and told him, "See, if you don't make money in this life, you will have serious problems."
Bro.
So this is a direct pressure
Like,
from somebody that you are looking up to as a teacher.
yes.
Like somebody that you are hearing things from, like you respect this person so much, telling you direct to your face that if you don't make money in this life, you will have serious
That's the
problems
height of it.
as a handsome boy.
That's the height of it.
So you will see that statement alone, you don't know what it can do to the mind of that
Yes.
guy. Because if it is somebody that does not experience, the grace of God or stuff like that, that person can go any length just to make sure that he
makes the money.
That's
wow,
the pressure.
Wow.
That's the pressure.
Wow. A whole lot
A
is
very
really
whole lot.
really going on.
That's
like,
the kind of background we
a whole lot. I think I had an encounter with someone. I went to work and I was trying to cover a footage. So the phone I was using, because it was a mobile video coverage, so the phone I was using had a little issues, and I needed to cover a particular scenario. So one man there opted to give me his phone, but his phone wasn't up to the standard. And I tried to tell him that this phone cannot actually deliver this job. And the man was like, "It's like, you're not normal. Do you know how much I got this phone? Around 400 and something thousand. And you're talking to my phone like that." And I was like, wow, 400 something thousand, and you think it is because of the price that will determine how good the phone is. I just tried to laugh it all out, but the truth is, I left that scene. I It actually did a lot of things in my mind, because
Exactly.
at some point I was like, so is it because of 400,000 that this man just insulted me? And you get that pressure start boiling in. Like, I need to get this money. I need
Yes.
to just get this
That
gadget
that's where it
to
comes
just show
from.
this man that I'm not like
You can just tell. You can easily tell that the person that said this into you now faced this kind of pressure that he put
something
you
like
in.
that. And he just wants to show,
Yeah, exactly.
like, there is something that pain does, that you just want to show that I really
you belong.
Yes. And
Most people just
Oh
buy
Lord,
that
oh
kind
Lord.
of expensive food just for maybe the aesthetics or stuff,
Yes.
just to belong.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
pressure.
Just a whole lot.
Pressure.
Just a whole
Yeah,
lot.
very, very,
All
very
right.
lot.
So, was there a version of yourself that you kept hidden because you think it was not acceptable? Like, was there a version of you, like, you knew that maybe this is really me,
Yeah.
but then maybe people will not accept it, so you just hid it from people?
Okay. I will not really say that I hid, because I am very outspoken. Like, anything that comes to my mind, I will say it. I don't used to think, what will this thing cost?
Yes.
I will just say it and then maybe make the mistake and get corrected. That's always the kind of person I am. I don't used to look at people's faces to talk. So I will not really say that I faced that kind of stuff. The only thing I can say is, based on that pressure that has been coming inside of me, there are some things that, I may want to do. It is now me, myself, will be telling my own self that you don't really need to do this. If you did this, people will, look at you as somebody that has fallen off. That's the only thing that has happened. But if it's for, hiding myself, no, I will just say the thing. Let what will happen happen. Then maybe people will correct me.
I think a lot of young persons are actually battling with this issue of trying to hide the real them.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because if they showcase it, people will feel like this thing is not reasonable. Maybe trying to show something and people will be like, this thing doesn't count. As an instrumentalist, most persons will be like, musicians don't really make it in life. They feel like musicians are wayward persons or vagabonds.
Yes,
Like, they
that's
can't
very
even
true. Yes,
amount to
that's very
anything in
true.
life.
Yeah.
And because of that, most times I just try to hide that aspect of me, that I'm a
You are a
musician,
musician. Yeah.
because I don't want people to see me as someone
Someone
who
that is
doesn't
wayward.
yes, as someone who doesn't mean any, like, I don't have any future, because based on what they have seen
Yes.
some persons amount to, they now feel like every other persons would definitely amount to that. And wow, it's really a whole
Do
lot.
you know, I really think that this whole thing can be corrected if we start from the right place, which is the family, right? Because I feel like, there is something I saw online. I don't know whether it's Instagram or so, but I heard a statement. A parent said that the first reaction you give to your child when he or she tells you something negative will determine if that person will come back to you to tell you another one or not. So
Exactly.
maybe when your child tells you something like, "Hey, mommy, somebody kissed me in school today," and you are like, "What?" That reaction,
that African,
the kind of feeling that young child will feel at that moment, she will now choose to keep silent the next time that kind of thing will happen, instead of telling you, because the child does not really
That's
like the
true,
reaction
that's
that.
true.
So that is the main reason for all these things. So if parents has been doing well in allowing their children to make the mistake in front of them so that they can correct them,
with
because
love.
yes, that is the place that we have the chance to
And
make
some
mistake
parents give correction from the place of pain.
and trauma,
Yes.
stuff like that.
And the young ones are really, really suffering,
I'm telling
because
you.
most young persons they find it very okay to relate with their peers
Yeah.
about their problems than their parents.
Very true.
Wow.
That's very
It's
true.
really a whole lot. It's really a whole lot. Okay, so over to the next question.
Yeah.
So there is this thing that happens to young people where they are scared to say, I don't know who I am yet. So why do you think it is so hard to admit? Like, that phase where a young person, you get this popular saying that you need to find purpose, you need to find your purpose in life.
Yeah.
I remember my dad used to tell me, you need to find, it is not your gift, you need to find your purpose in life, what God actually brought you into this life to do. And you know, there are young persons who are scared to say, I don't know my purpose yet. That is, I don't know where I am yet, or who I want to be yet. So why do you think it is so hard for young persons to admit?
Okay, firstly, the matter of purpose. People have really misinterpreted this matter of purpose and stuff, but I will still touch that very soon. But firstly, I will say that as a young person, the first thing that can make you feel like not to be outspoken of maybe your stage, your current stage or stuff, not being able to be bold to say that I have not found myself.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is value. The kind of value you place in yourself, the way you see yourself, your mindset, first of all, shifts everything that happens. The kind of mindset you have about yourself will influence the way you talk and take actions.
Yes, exactly.
So I will first of all say, apart from, there is this thing that is very, very common in Africa. Let me say Africa. Even in the Christian background, school, environment, society, everywhere. And that thing is, whenever somebody crosses to the next stage, right, the person will forget how he or she struggled to go over that stage.
Yes.
So something like now, when a non-believer repents, and gets salvation, the person will now become judgmental because God has shown him or her mercy.
Exactly.
The person will now forget that there is a time in his or her own life where he is like this person that he is judging, right? So that is the main thing. So when they now see somebody that is making mistake, they will make that person feel like he have sinned, that this is a sin that deserves murder, that this is a murder case. So that's kind of reaction that we used to get from people like that. It's one of the things that shapes the mind of young people. So they will now feel like, how will this person feel me telling him or her that I don't really know? But they need to make us feel safe
to say
that because purpose actually is not what we think it is. You will find your purpose when you begin to do something.
Exactly.
Right? There's a saying that they say a moving man meets his luck, right?
Yes.
So if you are not moving, you cannot find your purpose. So if you know that particular thing that gives you joy, like something that even when you are not paid for doing it, you still have that satisfaction. Yes. Just stay there. Stay there. There is a saying that is kind of funny, but I used to, channel that energy to the right path. There's this comedian that used to say, you fit enter wrong road, may you bust out for the right road. Right?
Exactly.
But that is actually true. If you check it the other way around, it is actually true, because it is when you are doing something and then you make mistake, you will take correction, learn, and you will not make that mistake again. That is how people gradually move into their purpose.
Even if you will make the mistake, it won't be as much as
bad as the first one.
Because you've learned from the mistake.
Yes.
Wow. Like I said before, I can remember my dad used to tell me, promise, you need to find your purpose. It is not about your gift. I know you know how to play the instrument, you are talented, but you need to find your purpose in life. You don't just need to be doing this thing. And now, sometimes I will sit down and I'll ask myself, how far? What exactly is this purpose of a thing? Until I just decided to, let me just keep doing this thing.
Yes, exactly.
And I've come to realize that this whole purpose of a thing comes with doing.
Yes.
You get clarity from consistency. When you keep doing something constantly,
it gets clear.
Yes, exactly. So the next one is, have you ever pretended to be confident about your future just so that people will leave you alone? Like this issue of knowing who you are, knowing your purpose.
Yeah.
Have you ever pretended like you've known your future, like you know where you are going already, just for people to be like, okay, this guy is doing well, like
Okay, so first of all, I will thank God for the kind of environment I grew up in, right? because it was my environment that really helped me a
Yeah.
lot. So the only time I had something that looks like this question now is those times when I was small. I told you that people always give their opinions about me. This person says this person says this. So, sometimes when I find myself in the midst of the person that said that I will be a good business person, I would like to behave like a business person so that the person will say that, yeah, you are moving in the direction.
Yes.
Then when you find yourself in the church setting, you would like to perform. That's where the problem comes in. We will now be performing the things that we should invest our spirit, our mind, and ourselves into. We will now be performing it. So that was the only state that as a kid. But as I grew up, I understood by the help of God in the environment, should all these church organizations, Bible studies and stuff, I get to understand that you don't really need to fake things, right?
Yes.
Because people will rate you.
You know this popular saying, fake it until you make it.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of young people are moving with that statement. So, but the environment made me understand that there is no need for you to fake things, because the day when people start rating you where you are not, a day will come when you will have the opportunity to perform at that level.
Yes.
You will find out that you will fail yourself, your spirit, your family, and you will fail your generation, right? So they made it easy for me to understand that it is very okay to be confused and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I've not really had that issue of trying to fake my future. Yes. Every stage, you give account of your stage.
Okay. I think at some point I battled with trying to fake it.
Sure.
Like, that was growing up. I knew exactly that maybe this thing is not really what I want to do.
Yeah.
But then, for the sake of people not to start talking anyhow, I just had to play along. You get, like, when you are given a script to act, you know that script is not actually you.
Yes.
You just need to perform what is written there. So I think at some point I was just there. Like, I just pretended like, yes, I knew where I was going. But it actually got clearer with time, and I'm actually happy that.
And one very bad thing about faking things is that unless you don't want to be a successful person that will fulfill purpose, right? But if you want to be a person that will fulfill your purpose, and you have that stage of your life where you fake things, one thing you will notice that is not really good is that from the moment you found out, or you finally told yourself the truth that I've been faking it, let me now face my reality, you'll find out that you will start afresh.
And it's a whole ball game.
You will start afresh.
Like,
so all of those times that you spent faking it, they are all gone. Those ones are just a lesson that you will learn and teach the younger ones. So you find out that you will start afresh. So it is always easier to be yourself than to fake it. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Faking it is really, really hard.
It's better to. I think it got to a point where my dad started. I could remember sometime he would be like, sometimes he would try to shout at me that I'm not doing this thing, I'm not doing this thing. But I think it got to a point where he started allowing me to just do that thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I remember I used to go for rehearsals, music practice, and sometimes I would come back late, maybe 8 p.m., 9 p.m. This man would lock me outside the gate. And he'll be like, if you know where you're coming from,
Go back.
just go back. Like, I used to collect beating from him.
I think we all had stuff like that.
Most times, he would give me better cane. So, but at some point, he realized that at some point, he prohibited me from going outside. Once it is 6 p.m., I dare not cross the gate.
So that's coffee.
So, no, it's more coffee, bro. But then, at some point, he started dropping those strictness.
Yeah.
At some point, he was like, he just let me do my thing. And the only thing was, he was there to just give me guidelines. He will always remind me, okay, don't do this. You need to do this. I'm not trying to shout at you, but you need to do this. And I think that started making me feel comfortable to now try out new things. Because I could remember that as a young person, I tried out a whole lot of things. Jesus Christ.
This our African environment is really, really doing us very bad thing, right? Let me give you this analogy now. We watch white movies, right? And you can attest to the fact that we see parents from very tender age, even as little as 1 year old, 2 year old. You will see a parent allowing their children to try out many things. Yes. Maybe they find out that this child likes playing things with his or her hands or with the leg. If it's with the hand, they can allow the child to maybe something like basketball, they will just get the person a ball and keep. Let's see if this person can, actually do something with this. So this act of finding purpose actually should be 50% of the parent's job and 50 of the child, because you will be the one to direct that child growing up, right, into the right path, because you are the person that have the prophetic everything about that child. So there are some things you will see the child doing growing up. You'll be the one to direct those things to the right path. So your job is now to, when the person is not doing the right one, you direct. But in this our environment, we grew up in the setting where you can't even tell your dad that you want to go and play ball. You have to hide everything that will implicate you, so that you can run
out outside and my dad comes in.
You will run. So that was the very, very bad thing that we saw from our parents, that made it very difficult for us to find out our purpose. Your parents need to learn to be better and freer with their kids.
Try out things.
Let them make that mistake in front of you.
Okay. I think did anyone around you ever made you feel safe to be confused? Like, just in this issue of trying to know who you are, did anyone around you ever made you feel comfortable, like it is okay to get confused?
Okay, I wouldn't say so as a young person, but recently, yes, I think my environment.
Yeah. Are you?
No,
old?
not really that I'm old, but I'm saying, like, I can't really tell for years. But as for now, my environment made it very okay for me to be confused. In fact, they appreciate that we are confused, and confusion is actually a proof that we are growing.
You are growing,
because it shows that you got to a point you don't know what to do again.
Yes.
So make it known that you are confused. So I think my own environment, that's why I really thank God for where I found myself. Because had it been, I did not see myself in this kind of environment, I don't know what would become of me by now. So yeah, the environment, church organizations, Bible studies, and a whole lot of things have made it easy for us to be confused.
Okay. Just like I said, at some point, my dad started making me feel okay.
Yeah.
Like, he started making me see reasons why it is okay to get confused.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you'll be like, calm down, just pray, and keep doing your thing. So, and at that point, I started feeling this peace to just try out new things. Not bad things, but something that is going to be productive. Okay, so let's talk about identity.
Okay.
Because a lot of young people today are being told who to be from every direction at once. So how did you figure out what actually was you versus what was just noise? Like, how did you figure out what you really want from what people wanted you to be?
Okay. I've not really had too many experiences in life. Like my life has always been something that is moving like this. What I mean by that is that I've not really had so many, bad experiences, because by the grace of God, I'm the last child in the family, right? So I was opportune to be in the midst of elderly. I have 3 senior siblings, right? So I am opportune to be in the midst of people that are not too confused. I don't know how they did it, but I grew up to see that at a younger age, these people are, already doing something. So it was easier for me to, go to the right path, right?
Yes.
So I could remember my direct senior brother. Like, he was the one that helped me a lot after I finished secondary school. In fact, it was even his idea that I learned shoemaking, right? It was his idea. And the only thing I knew about myself is that I am not the kind of person that will use education to pay that education will pay my bills, right? I've always believed that my skill will pay my bills. That is the kind of person I am. Not that education is underrated also.
Yes.
Of course, education is very, very important.
Very important.
So, but I just know that this is me. But, because of the kind of setting in primary school, I've never for one day opened my book to read. No matter the kind of exam. It will shock you that I did not open my book when I was preparing for common entrance and first school living. But guess what? I was the one that had the highest mark. Like, during that, I cannot forget, during our...
Baba, they do jazz
I'm
for
telling
me, bro.
That was one of the things that, kind of encouraging me not to read, because
Yes.
even after playing,
You will
I will come
still
into the class and perform
get
very
an
well.
A.
So people will look at me as a very intelligent person that you make it in the education side. But after that stage of my life, during the secondary phase, I can remember I did not really beg for too much money while I was in school. My parents will do the main part, like school fees and other very, very important things. They pay for it. Then I am the one that used to, all these projects, group projects in
Yes,
secondary
yes,
schools.
yes.
I will make like 5 different group projects, put my name in one, and then I will collect money for the other ones. So it has been, providing me with some little cash in school. So I just I just knew that my skill will feed me. So when my brother told me about that shoemaking, I said, very good, very good. I like it. Because they will have to get your consent to know if you will actually do it.
Yes,
So
yes.
I said, no problem, no problem. The main thing about purpose is to, no matter what you find yourself in, is there any part of that thing that is giving God glory?
Glory.
So if everything you are doing there is just to, that the whole thing that is at the back of your mind is to just make the money.
Money.
Yes. So,
Then
but
you need
the
to
one thing you will
strategize.
factor in, yes, is to make sure while doing this, is it giving God glory?
Glory.
How will God
Very,
get glory
very
from
important.
this? Yes.
Very, very important.
Yes. So
because
that's just it.
obedience is better than
Yeah.
sacrifice. Yes.
It is in doing that God will, redirect you, even though you are in the wrong place.
Yes. All right. So a lot of persons are actually losing themselves or themselves because of people's opinion.
Mhm.
Have you been in that phase, or have you ever encountered a situation where you realized that you were actually losing yourself because this is not what you were supposed to be? Like, have you ever found
Yeah.
yourself in a phase where you were just losing yourself just to please people?
No, I won't really say that. Let me tell you reason why. My direct senior brother never allowed that. He's this kind of person that gives you very close marking, right? He gives me very close marking. In fact, you can't stay beside him and
But
make
we would like to
some
know the
kind
name
of
of
mistake.
this young.
Don't worry, I will say that before the podcast ends. But so he's that person. I'm not sure that he really like me to mention his name
Oh,
like that. So let's just move.
it.
So he's a kind of strict person. And while that thing was happening to me as a younger version of myself,
Yes, sir.
I used to run from that his strictness, because I'm like, why wouldn't this person allow me to do my thing? But at a very long run, I found out that this was actually what shaped my life. I'm telling you. So I did not really have that stage of my life where I have to think that I've lost myself
losing
or
yourself.
depression. I've not experienced depression by the grace of God. I don't know what it looks like. God has been helping me.
Wow,
Seriously.
wow. You're actually blessed. So
I'm telling you.
let me not
I'm
really
telling
talk
you.
about
God
that
blessed
side,
us
because
with very good people.
let me not talk about that side because it's actually a whole lot.
What position are you in the family?
I'm the second child, the first son.
The first son.
So it's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot.
It's a whole
Like you have to sit down, and everything that goes on in your mind is my dad. He will always remind me that most times he will be like, "Nah, if I am to leave this mother earth, you know that you are the person to take
Yes.
charge." And you get that statement does a lot
Pressure.
in your
It comes
mind.
with heat.
So sometimes I will look at him and I'll be like, oh, this man is getting old. Like the fear keeps on increasing, and at some point I'll be like, I just need to make this money.
Yeah.
So that this man will just enjoy a bit of it before. So
It's not easy for first sons. First sons are trying. I'm telling you.
it's just a whole lot. It's
no
just
easy
a whole
for
lot.
first sons.
So the next question I wanted to ask you, but
Yeah.
I think you've answered it, is if there was a person that actually helped you not to lose yourself, and you've actually answered it.
That's my direct senior brother.
Direct senior brother.
Yes. And
it's
with the
actually-
help of spiritual leaders.
So
in
first
church.
off, shout out to
my
the
senior
direct
brother.
senior brother, because
he did a lot. He did a lot for me.
The truth is, most times I sit down and I wish I had a senior brother.
Sure.
That I would just say, how far, bro? God, this is not making sense. But then I am actually the senior brother.
Exactly.
And my junior brother will reach out to me most times. I'll be like, how far, guy, brother, how far now? And I'll be like, I will actually give him guideline, but at some point I'll be like,
are you the one?
Why is it I don't have someone to, why is it I don't have someone to
I think the thing
me?
that will help you fill up that space is, if you have something like a spiritual guardian, maybe a mentor or a father
Something
that
like
you
that.
respect so
Yes,
much.
yes,
Like
yes.
so, me now, if I want to do something, and my mind tells me, what will my brother say if he hears this? First
Like,
of all, I will know that there is something wrong with that thing.
yes,
Actually,
yes,
that's the one. That's the first sign that will tell me that this is actually wrong. Once I start having double mind, that I'm not sure that this person, my brother, will be happy if he hears this. So they say that if you neglect signs, you will see wonders. So
like,
if once I'm that confused, I will tell him, Alpha, see this. What do you think? Then he will be the one to help me.
okay. So, at what point in your life did you feel like life is not happening to you? Like, at what point in your life do you feel like you can control whatever is happening to you? Like, you have the full control of how your life happens.
Okay, I think what really helped me to shape that kind of mind for me is the things I've seen happen. Because, like I said before, I've not really had so much bad experience
Yes.
because I'm the last son. So
Wow.
I've had a lot of things happen to people, a lot of negative things happen to people, right? So, and out of that experiences, in fact, I would say that my whole life experience was what taught me to see life as what I can control. I can't recall having any, very strong negative experience that will make me take a very strong decision or stuff like that. So it has always been lessons, people's stories that, impact me. And one of the things that impacts me the most is that there is nobody coming to help you.
Exactly.
You are the
exactly.
person that will help
You're the
yourself.
architect of your life.
Exactly. So if you fail to, come to rescue yourself, you will drown. So that has always been the thing that makes me feel like, people, hey, let me tell you something. There is nothing you see in this life that is just normal. Until people start believing this, that is when they can take the full control and charge of their life. Nothing is just normal. Nothing is just normal. In fact, in this part of the world, in this our country, that everything looks like something that has been orchestrated.
Yeah.
It is not just being playing out. You will have to understand that nothing happens for nothing. Everything that happens to you happened for a reason. So when you have that kind of mindset first, it will help you to, reshape your mind. It will help you to plan your life in a way that whatever life throws to you, you will use it, absorb it, yes, absorb it and, use it to throw back at life.
Yes,
That's what
exactly.
has impacted me the most.
Because I think, well, it's just a whole lot. It's
very, very, very
it's just a whole lot about this whole thing, because at some point you just feel like, is it that I'm not doing life well and stuff like that?
Something very funny. I was in a conversation with somebody, and then he was saying that this is a fellow codewinner, he's a fellow shoemaker. So he was complaining about how life is hard, difficult. When he sees me, he's like, "You are enjoying life." I will be like, "Not don't go and face your life seriously," because I'm somebody that sees life as a very spiritual stuff, right? So because of that mindset, I've believed that no matter what happens, if you sort things the other end, which is the spiritual part, this place will be easy. So I hear people, because the place my office is a kind of upstairs. Even my parents told me, upstairs, you need to be in a place that is, and I bed in a site, so that people can, sight you easily. Yeah. But I was like, I don't really need all of that, right? Who was this guy that baptized Jesus in the wilderness? John the Baptist. Thank you. John the Baptist was in the wilderness, and people were coming for him.
Yes.
People were coming,
even in the outskirts of the town.
Exactly. So you don't really need to be at sites per se for everything to be very good. You are the person that really needs to be in the right stand.
Yeah.
So what you have will bring people. So this guy told me, he will complain, and I will ask him, so what is really the problem? He will say village people. I will say, what is this guy saying? So you will just find out that this person have not really understand life.
Exactly.
He never understand life.
I think I was saying something the other day, or was it just talking to myself?
Yeah.
And at some point I was like, I can actually control what happens to my life.
Yes, very true.
Like, I can actually control
If
it.
you want to.
It is just my decision.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, did it take hitting a wall before you started asking the right questions about yourself? Was there anything that happened before you start asking questions
Serious
about
question.
how your life?
Okay. There is no direct. I will not say that something happened to me directly, but as somebody that has been eager to find your purpose in life, right?
Yes.
So the thing that pushes me to ask questions is that's confusion. So when I move, and I'm confused, of course, anybody that is moving, every moving man must
confused.
meet confusion on the way, and that's where you look out. That's where you
Yes.
ask questions. In fact, you will believe, attest to the fact that there was a point in your life when you began to ask your parents some questions, especially your dad,
Yes.
because I saw a post, I think yesterday online. Somebody said, "I know they blame my papa again. Being a dad is not easy."
It's not easy.
Yes,
It's
so
not.
you will not understand that until you begin to do something, right? So I think what really made me is not, I did not really see something very hard. It's just that curiosity to be successful, and then not just being successful, but being successful inside my purpose, fulfilling purpose.
Yes.
Yes, that was what have always been pushing me to ask questions. Yeah.
And since then, it's like you felt enough peace.
Yes.
Because I believe that there's this peace that comes with like just
Fulfillment.
doing you.
Yes.
Just doing you and not trying to
Inner
do
peace.
what people want. Like, just feel like once you do this thing, you're
See,
okay.
one thing with finding yourself is that when you find yourself, the pressure will reduce.
Definitely.
Once you find yourself, pressure will reduce. There is one guy, I was sitting somewhere one time like that. Any car that passes, this particular guy will say, "Hey, Mercedes Benz." Anyone that passes, this guy will
I was telling
call the
someone
name.
that I don't get moved by
I was
all
like,
these fancy.
how?
Not like I don't want to
Why
get
am
a
I
car, but I'm not moved.
Exactly.
with it.
See, there is one particular statement I had last week that helped my life a lot. There is this very old, successful man. He's a white man. I've forgotten his name. So he was giving advice to younger people. And then he said something like, a wealth, a very good wealth starts paying off at age 53 and up, not at age 38, right? And then he said that a young person at his or her 20s spends his or her life making mistakes and learning, not mastering life.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Because the society has shaped it. They have made us seen life in a way that if you've not gotten your first Benz at 21,
then
you're wasting your life. So
it.
when this man said this thing, it really did something
I
to
think
me.
my dad will always tell me.
It encouraged me a lot.
My dad will always tell me that time, he'll be like, "Nah, I am not pressuring you to go and make money.
Yeah.
I'm not pressuring you to go and build houses for me. All I'm just saying is take your time, but find yourself.
Hi.
Take your time, but find yourself."
Having a good parent is always a blessing. That's something that we don't really talk about too much.
He will always, my dad, in everything he does, he will always remind you, go back to God.
Yes.
In as much as you have plans, bring it to God first. So you don't do because you feel like, okay, there is this part of the Bible that says we shouldn't be wise in our own eyes, in our own understanding. Yes. And he'll be like, your idea is good, but then have you prayed about it?
Exactly.
So
see, if you have a good parents, be very, very grateful to God.
Very, very, very important.
A mother told someone that was once a friend when I've not really found myself, right? The mother told this guy, go and make money. Make money anyway. What I want is for you to make money.
My mom.
A mother told this into his
anytime I want to gift my mom, the first thing she'll ask me is, "Nah, where did you get this money from?" And
seriously,
whenever I give her something tangible, I think the other day I gifted her a frame and she accepted it, she danced, but the next thing was, "Nah, where did you get the money from?" And I was like,
they don't want you to spend
Christ.
money.
Does it mean that
they will never want you to waste money?
But that actually shaped my life. I remember my dad telling me one time that he actually made a very dangerous prayer that if any of his child gets into fraud, that the person would die. And even before he made the prayer, I know I had the pressure to just make money my own ways. Yeah. But then at some point, due to the morals, the way we were being trained and brought up, I cancelled every thought that had to push me into that area.
So, but
Before he now made that statement, and I was like, thank God.
Thank God,
What
you
if
know,
I've done
thank God
this
you
thing?
don't really
And
put eye for that side.
it's first, I fear my dads were like mad. Like that man, he can just say word casually and
It will happen.
you go cry.
See, every parent, it is only the parents that have not, come into the full understanding
God.
of the exact knowledge of God about who they are.
Yes.
Every parent is a prophet.
Like
You
very
have
big word.
you have the authority
over
to
your
decide
child.
what happens to your child or not. But it's just that the society we are living in, most of the parents,
Let's leave it for another day.
these parents need some, lectures,
leave
that
it.
kind of
Maybe
thing. But
one
it's
of, one
cool,
of the
it's
days
cool.
we'll invite
Shout out to
one
our parents though. Yeah.
They are trying. It's not really easy.
Yeah, we would
So
definitely
I
need to
believe that one of the days we're going to invite
yes.
maybe a parent.
Definitely.
So if you're a parent listening to us, just get ready. Maybe we'll invite you one day and you'll have to sit down and we'll talk. Maybe you can give us a clue about what you've known and seen about life. Okay, so over to the next one. So what does it truly mean to know yourself? And do you think most young people ever get there? Or do they spend the whole of their lives discovering? Because most persons, they just spend their life trying to, I just want to know who I am. That is this issue of knowing your purpose. Most persons, they'll be like, they are trying to find their purpose, and they end up just wasting.
Yeah.
So,
okay, this is a very deep question and a sensitive one. So I will not give you a very perfect answer. Because myself too, I'm still in the process.
Yes,
so I will give you an answer based on where I am right now. So with my little experience, I will say that the act of finding purpose is not something that you get to know completely
all of a sudden,
right? So it is something that while moving,
It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
So someone that wants to find his or her purpose must have patience.
I used to hear this statement that any business that would thrive must be able to last for like 5 years.
Yes.
So
before you can say that this business is not successful.
I saw a guy, I think Adesina. Yes. So he made a statement that he has not celebrated anniversary for his brand. That he wants the brand to clock 5 years. And from 5 years, he'll count it as 1 year anniversary.
Wow.
So I believe that this purpose of a thing, like, don't just trust it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just trust it.
People even, enter a place and feel like, yes, because they are making small tithes from there, they'll feel like, yes, they have arrived. That's one of the bad things. So
you now get relaxed.
Yes. So as a young person, I think one of the advice I will give is don't be relaxed at any point. Even when you think it is coming now, don't be relaxed.
Just keep trying new things.
No matter where you think you are, there is a next level to that.
Exactly.
Even Elon Musk, there is a next. They say that very soon he will be the first trillionaire.
He is already.
He is already.
He is already.
You see, so no matter what level you find yourself, don't think that this is the height of it. You will never know.
There is more to you.
You will never know.
There's this song that I think Tiflo Sunday sang the song that he said there is more to you, Holy Ghost, than just speaking in tongues. You get, and so it has to do with life. There is more to you than that position you are in right now. Maybe right now you're making millions and you feel like, okay, you are now relaxed. It's actually not so true. In as much as you need to have the spirit of contentment, but then there is more.
Relax, yes.
There is more.
If life hits you for that your millions, an average Igbo man, once he has 10 million, 20 million in the account, he will ask you,
like, do you know me?
I've had stuff like that a lot. So life can hit you.
I want to call
no,
but let me not call that.
Life can hit you, and every investment you have will burn down in a night.
Just like Job.
It will burn down in a night.
Like
you will not know.
In the Bible.
So you don't have to relax.
He had in a day.
And one of the things that will make you to know if you are really operating in your purpose is if that kind of thing happens to a person, maybe life hits you and you lose things that are a lot. Yeah, very huge something, you lose it. Your reaction towards that will tell you if you're in the right place or not. If depression gets to, gets you to stop hustling or doing things, and then there is something.
I think I've told you the story of how I lost a lot of things.
Yeah,
so, my mom would just be crying that period. But something inside of me was like, yes, I know I lost these things.
Yeah.
And it took me to 0. But then I had this part of me that kept saying that I can get these things back.
Of course,
I can still try.
That's the spirit.
And I'm actually happy that what I have now is way bigger than what I lost.
At least you can look back and be sure that
it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. How much of you or how much of who you are today was shaped by pain versus peace? Like the person you are now, how much did pain or peace contributed into it?
Okay.
Or maybe have you known pain to an extent that made you feel like, no, this must be done?
Yeah, I understand. You know, there are some things that I will be saying. I will feel like I will be seeing the way people will be thinking about it. I said before, I've not really experienced too much bad things in life. Yeah. You might hear that and think that, no, this person never seen life. It's not that I've seen life, but there are actually people that grace is carrying.
Yes.
I think I'm one of that person. Wow. Because I'm not really. Wow. There are some stories that people will be telling after sympathizing with them, giving them advice.
And you were like,
like, how did you manage it? How did it happen? I can't relate. So when people tell me such story, I'll be like, after I sympathizing with them and giving them some words that will encourage them, I will now come back to myself and tell God, I beg. I don't know how this thing will be if I experience it, but I never experience it. Right? I think I've not really had so much pain. So I would say that 20% pain and 80% peace. So my life have grace. Grace has always carried me. I'm a very young person, right? When people see something, a success that is genuinely happening, they will know.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in my early 20s, and having you know about the office, right? So having that kind of establishment at this early stage without having to do so many negative things. So when people look at you like that, they will feel like, what are you doing that we are not doing?
Yes. I want to ask my
I used to get that a lot. So you can even tell for people, okay, let me shock you. That's my shop. I opened it late last year. That's November, but I officially opened it January this year.
Yes.
So as at the time I found that shop, in fact, one very shocking thing is that the day I stepped out with my very close friend to go and check for shops, that was the very day I found my shop.
Wow.
I did not use agents or stuff. So people ask me, which agent got this place? I say, no agent. We just left and we found shop that same day. And guess what? As at the time, I did not even have up to 100,000 in my account. But guess what? As things moved on, the way all of those funds came, I did not even know. But what happened was that everything happened. So I will say that the grace of God has really been sufficient. No much pain. Thank God for that. And I pray that I will not experience that pain.
Wow. And I think we're coming to the end of this phase. But before we end, let me just ask you this last phase of question. So this is you now to the young persons, but I say the teenagers.
Yeah.
If a teenager is sitting before you right now, or if a teenager is sitting somewhere feeling completely lost, like everyone else has it together except them, just like you said, people ask you, what are you doing that we're not doing? So if a teenager is now seated before you now, who feels like he or she is lost about life, what do you have to tell such person?
Okay, firstly, let me even say this one. Those things that these people see that they're asking me, what are you doing that we are not doing? I've not even really seen those things, right? Because what have I achieved that? Like, to what extent? In what context are you guys saying that? Because I never, nothing, absolutely nothing.
I've come to your place of work.
Calm down, absolutely nothing. Because if you want to say that, I think not really comparison, but you look at the people that are doing that thing you are doing at the global level, and you will see how far you will still have to go to get to that global stage. So when I put it in that context, I will see that
your current level.
Yeah, but then God is good. God is good. Yes, that's very true. So I will not say that I am there, but I know that a big progress has happened. So I would like to tell the young person, don't ever feel like this is where life ends, no matter what happens, right? Let me tell you one thing. No matter what happens to you, no matter how bad your story is, the only thing that people can do for you is to sympathize with you, give you encouragement. You are the person that has the job to bring back yourself and stand on your feet. So there is this post I used to see, when people compare the congratulations that comes when you've succeeded and the people that actually, helped you to get to where you are. You'll see something like one person in the a part of the sacrifice, and then when you now get to be successful, congregations
Yes.
will come to
Like
congratulate
people like
you.
to
And to identify with you when you are
yes, exactly.
successful.
They like to identify
So,
with someone who is successful.
I will
already.
tell young people like me, don't feel discouraged at any point in life, no matter what happens. Find any possible means that is legit and positive to stand back. And I will also tell you, make sure that you have, a place, a circle of friend or an organization where you run back to when something is very hard.
heavy.
Yes.
Yes.
If you are a Christian, make sure that you are in one or two organizations in church, right? Make sure that the one thing you will look out for is God here.
Yes.
That is the most important thing. Not the faces of people you see there, not the way people
The
are,
beginning, God, and
yes.
the end.
So what you will look out for, the most important thing is God here. So running back to those people is so that they will give you that emotional support, spiritual support, every kind of support that they can give. Sometimes financial support too.
Yes.
If you have a very safe place that you run back to when it's heavy on you, you'll find out that those people try as much as possible to help you the way they can. So trying to, stand back in your feet is one of it. Making sure that you belong to an organization, society, or circle of friends that does very good thing to you is another one. Then final is don't have the wrong picture of yourself. Value yourself. You are the best supporter of yourself, and you are also the worst enemy that you can have. So when you don't value yourself, when you don't see yourself as the person you will be in future, you will really have serious problem, because that is the point when any little thing people say about you will affect you.
Yes.
So, but when you know who you are, when you have a little knowledge about what God thinks about you, it will help you. When somebody say, look at you, you will amount to nothing. You will know that this person is just talking out of emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know where you're
imagine
going.
someone who is acting, like imagine watching an action movie where the actors already know what is going to happen at the end of the script. So they don't even have to fear, because they already know
what's going to happen.
is written of them in that
So
script.
you can actually find yourself in that position where you know what your future will be like, but you may not know everything. Exactly. It is just a process. Like purpose is a process. You will not know it 100%, but you can have 30% knowledge. If you work that 30% fully, another phase will open. You will continue to move. So please have a very positive mindset about who you are. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for gracing this invite. And I believe that to every young person who is going to watch this or who has watched this, I believe that this is really going to help you change a lot in your mindset, because the change starts first in
from the mind.
Your mind. Because I know I used to battle with low self-esteem, but thanks to PMC, I think the man helped me to some extent. He'll be like, sometime I will post videos and I won't get a comment. He will come to the comment section, he will comment, and he'll get to my DM and be like, Fromzy, I see you. Keep doing what you are doing. And I think that encouraged me. And a big shout out to PMC. I believe that he might watch this video. Maybe he may not get to this point, but anybody that watches this video should help me and thank him. And to every young person, don't feel less of yourself. Don't feel like since you've not figured yourself out, you don't matter in the society. No. Growth takes time. So I think at this point, we're going to bring it to an end and see you in the next podcast section.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Bye.